Come on.
No, man, I'm not letting you go, man. You were harassing those girls.
What?
And then you swung at the 7-Eleven employee.
Gracie Combatives, lesson number 22 in the year 2022 in Chicago by my man Idriz Redzovic, who's been training for 22 years. You guys, it went down. Rear takedown, twisting arm control in a real fight, and he live streamed the whole thing, but he's here live, flew out from Chicago just to do the Gracie Breakdown. Thank you for being here, sir. Always a pleasure to see you. You got to break it down for the people. What actually happened last week at 7-Eleven?
So I went to get some Slurpees for my kids, and as I was getting Slurpees looking for a straw, a lady came in complaining about an individual in the parking lot. And as he was in the parking lot, they were going crazy trying to hit each other. He was slapping the car. So I minded my business. I thought they knew each other. So eventually the guy ends up coming up to me and say, "Hey man, what are you looking at? You Russian?" And he tried to like punch me. So I took a step back, put my hands up.
Like, just do one of those.
Yeah, and I was like,
got it, kept the distance?
Yeah, I kept my distance. Then he walked inside harassing the 7-Eleven employees. And I stayed calm, you know, not my business. I actually called the cops like a few minutes as he was harassing the girls in the parking lot. Then it happened. He punched the 7-Eleven employee in the head.
So he's in the store now?
Yeah, he
Boom.
punched him. When I saw that happen, my instincts came in, all my years of training, and I ended up grabbing him in the rear, and I took him to the ground, slid over. He started to pull this arm out. As he pulled this arm out, I wiped him out like a pancake right here.
Beautiful back mount.
As he started to calm down, I ended up grabbing his wrist, handing it off. This is what everyone wants to see. And I put him in the twisting arm control, lesson 22. As I was holding him here, you know, I always tell my students that this is such a beautiful move that because you can check the person, you know, make sure he has no weapons. You can even take a phone out, take a picture. Whatever. I always talked about this.
Live stream the whole situation on Facebook.
Because everyone else around me was filming me, so why not get my own story on the thing? You know, I almost deleted it. You still can't get out. The beautiful thing about this move is that I'm not sitting on him.
Not putting much pressure.
He's safe. I could even tickle him.
Yeah, come on, dude. I'm really tickled. Yeah.
But it's such a beautiful move. I was able to relax, let him breathe. He went a little crazy during the altercation, like 6 minutes in. And I had baskets here, so he started turning. He ripped his arm out, and I ended up putting my chest down, controlling his wrist here, hooks in.
Nothing.
And he can't move.
Nothing.
And I stayed so confident and calm. I think that's why everyone loved this.
You were talking to him the whole time, bro, and he was saying crazy stuff to you, but you were so calm and de-escalatory.
That's the beautiful thing about our art. See, to me and Rener, this is nothing special. We've been doing this for such a long time that he would have done the same thing.
That's so wild, bro. And even beginners, right? We talk about the simplicity of. So, any other positions here you want to show before we talk about the basics?
Think you do this all. You guys teach us in lesson 22. You drop it, go under, push off.
This is it.
You know, there's so many ways to do it.
I love how you modified it, though. How you snuck this hand inside, bro.
And people, you know, I modified it.
Yes.
And it was like he was sleeping on his own hand.
He did this the whole time. He wasn't using.
I even put my foot up.
It's tight.
Pressure. You see that pressure?
Yeah, very nice.
And if I was some jerk, I could break his arm. I had black belts tell me, "Hey, why don't you put him to sleep?" All this nonsense, but for what?
Yeah.
What do I have to show?
For what?
For what?
Yeah.
I ended up. That's why I think got the attention to everyone in
That's
the globe.
what I think. That's why everyone got so. The video went super viral, right? All news stations
Millions and
showing
millions of
English,
views.
Spanish, everyone. And he's never experienced this before, and I agree that it was because of the compassion that you showed.
I offered him water.
Yeah. The compassion that he showed during this whole process. And then when the cops finally showed up, you were like, "Officers, we got it under control." How you laid him on his stomach, put the hand out, and you were like, "Put your hand behind your back." Bro, it was so gentle, it was so assisting. I don't wonder what the cops were thinking. What did they say after all that?
Man, I think a lot of the cops were like shocked. And one cop is like, "Yeah, I know your family. You guys are right there." And he, you know, and I started getting like a lot of messages from cops all around the globe saying thank you. You know, I hope more cops were to train.
What we've been very vocal about is the more training officers get, the less likely you have escalations of force, unnecessary escalations of force that could have otherwise been avoided, right? And I think that's really what Jiu-Jitsu can provide, because if officers had the calm, composure, the technique that Idriz have, and not even what he has, 22 years is way more than any officer needs. What basics? Gracie Combatives, you guys, 36 techniques, one simple card. If you learn that, you have an advantage over 99.9% of the population of the world, because as we saw in Idriz's situation, people don't know how to fight. They don't know what they're doing. And when they're drunk, psychotic, or whatever the episode is in that situation, they're very manageable with these techniques if you just know a little bit of Jiu-Jitsu. It gives you such an unfair advantage.
Yeah,
For real?
100%. Like it's such a, to me, like I was talking to other black belts, it wasn't a big deal, it's just another white belt. And 99% of the people walking on the street are just white belts.
They know nothing, you guys.
So
They're all blind.
Imagine if you just did 1 year or 2 years and you became a Gracie combative.
Basic. It's all you need is the basics. And we've said this for the longest time, is that jiu-jitsu is, you need very little to have a massive advantage. Whether you're a law enforcement officer or a civilian, it's so basic. So for those of you who are like, man, I don't got years and years and years to commit to jiu-jitsu, you don't need to do all that. You need months, not years, to learn the basics and to feel safer in your own skin and to know that if you have to intervene, because the thing is this, it wasn't even your fight. This guy didn't fight Idriz because of Idriz's confidence, his composure, the way he communicates, maybe the distance that you showed. He was like, oh, this guy knows what's up. This guy's
chest out.
There you go.
Up.
So you were not the target. You were not the target. This guy was tripping, but when he saw your distance and your hands up, he might have thought, uh-oh, wrong guy. Go over here, not the Bosnian, right? So the guy who thought, they're not Russian, it's Bosnian, solid. But not the Bosnian, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm gonna keep my distance and I'm gonna go to someone else. Then he punched the 7-Eleven worker, but here's the crazy part. Sometimes you don't pick the fight picks you. And in this situation, the fact that someone else got attacked in your presence, he had no choice. His DNA is of service and of helping someone who doesn't know how to help themselves. So he went in for that rear clinch, rear takedown, and then ultimately twisting arm control. It just kicked into gear. It was just natural for you because you knew you had the answer to this fire. It's like, would you put out a fire that you didn't start? The answer is yes. Because if you're a human of service and you have the water bucket or a hose, you're gonna put it out. Jiu-jitsu is the hose, even for the fires that you don't start. And that's why it's so special that he intervened in a fight that wasn't his, took care of, instead of getting out of camera and just filming and walking, he took the guy down, tied him up, and then put his camera to make sure he gets the footage of his own situation, largely so you couldn't get sued, you told me as well. Like, you wanted everything to be on camera.
And other people recording. I wonder if they took that clip and this,
made it look bad. You wanted your own footage of the whole thing as a record. Genius. And to have the calm composure and the technique and the ability to be in an altercation and to record yourself, pull the phone out, put it down while you're holding the guy who's
make
tripping
a phone
out.
call. What if you had to call 911? What if I was there by myself in the alley and I had to call
No,
911?
bro. People,
Jiu-Jitsu gives you that confidence.
Jiu-Jitsu gives you ability to record yourself on live stream or to call 911 in the middle of the fight. And I don't know many other arts that can provide that level of control and confidence.
What if it was boxing? Or
At least not in the least amount of time.
If it was boxing, what are you gonna do? Punch a guy in the face or hit him or smack him? Or hit him in the throat or
This
eye
is the
gouge?
concern. This is the concern.
This is the problem.
Is that if it's a striking art is the only solution to this, if you're learning it for self-defense, you often throw more fire on top of the fire. But in Jiu-Jitsu, you learn how to fight fire with water. And that's why the world was so intrigued with what they saw in Idriz's video. There couldn't have been a more wild, squirrely guy who was disagreeable and violent, but a more calm, composed, compassionate control of the subject in that situation. They loved that. And the world wants more of that, and they're like, Idriz is, but you know it's just the art, bro. Like, he's just another one. Like when Royce won UFC 1, and they were like, Royce, oh my gosh. Royce is like, no, it's not me that's good. It's Jiu-Jitsu that's good. And this is just a real life demonstration of the skills that Royce used in UFC 1, Idriz used in 7-Eleven to help the civilians that were there. And once again, the world is captivated by the simple gentility of Jiu-Jitsu. You guys, go find a certified training center. Normally, this is where the talk ends. Go find a CTC, get going down. We wrap this video up and we're done. However, Idriz came all the way out here, not just to talk about the breakdown, but also to talk about the business of his jiu-jitsu school in Chicago, which is on its way to becoming a CTC. So we're gonna have a very important business discussion right now in the office. If you have no intention to ever teach jiu-jitsu, or you don't currently teach, or you never wanna teach, and you don't ever wanna be in the business of jiu-jitsu, you turn off the video right now. But for those of you who wanna ride with us to the office, we're gonna let the camera just follow us straight in there and record and be part of this discussion, because we're gonna talk about some very important aspects. And if you ever wanna teach, or you have a school right now, but you're like, man, you're not getting the results that you want. You're not getting the impact in the community that you want. Join us in the office, we'll see you there, let's go. So Idriz, let's talk about the business of Jiu-Jitsu. You have a school in Chicago. You've been teaching for how many years now?
20 years.
20 years, and over that 20 years, you've been part of many different Jiu-Jitsu affiliations,
100%.
right? Organizations, there you go, all the way back. That's the original logo too. Different affiliations, different organizations. And now, for the audience to know, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the business side of things, you're you have a territory reserved under Gracie University for a certified training center, our first, and we're very excited about this, our first certified training center in Chicago. So he has the territory reserved. He's working through the material to actualize that certified training center. He's well on his way throughout that process, which is why he knows the curriculum and the material so well. And we're stoked about that. But I wanted to talk to the world a little bit right now because I think there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of misunderstanding about what we do and why we're doing this, right? Why you're on the path towards Gracie University instructor certification and CTC establishment. So what was it for you that just kind of off the bat just kind of grabbed you in terms of why you want to do what we're doing? What about what we're doing? Because you've been around forever.
Great question. It's because I could probably do it myself. I don't need Rener. But with being with Rener, he'll speed up the process. It might take me 10 years to achieve that. But if I do it with Rener, I could achieve it right away. So why not take that extra shortcut that's been proven here at his school?
And at hundreds of schools around the world, right? So we're doing this now scalably for so many years. And I've known you for more than 10 years, right? It's been a long time that I've known them, but they've always been kind of done their own thing. Idriz kind of does it. It was always successful, always, a degree of success and just happily teaching jiu-jitsu. But I'm really excited to now have a CTC in Chicago and for him to be the one running the show there. It's going to be very exciting for us. And what's interesting is as we think about this and we think about the rest of BJJ, the industry as a whole, there's this thing regarding loyalty.
Yeah, 100%.
You feel me? There's this thing regarding loyalty that if I were to ask instructors around the world, black belts, let's talk about the professors. If I were to say, hey, professors, is it important to you, how important to you, or is it important to you that your instructor, your students are loyal to you?
How important is it to me?
I'm talking just generically, what do you think they'll say?
Very important.
In jiu-jitsu, it's almost like,
They have that word,
Kriyanchi. Kriyanchi is if you're not loyal to your professor, you're not loyal to the school, right? So the interesting part is this. When you ask me, Rener, how important is it for my students to be loyal to me? My response is absolutely zero. I don't want my students to be loyal to me, Rener, Hiron, the professors, the head instructors. I want students who are loyal to themselves. But here's how and here's why, you guys. And I just realized this morning, knowing we were going to record this. I'm like, what's up with this loyalty thing and why are we so successful? What we've done for 16 years, since me and Hiron have pretty much been running the show here at GU, what we've done is we've created the systems and the tools and the curriculums and the structures that allow students to be loyal to themselves by giving them ownership of their journey of jiu-jitsu. Does that make sense? So we create the systems that foster the self-loyalty. Now, what do I mean by that? Starting on day one, every single beginner, whether you're a man, a woman, a child, grown up, every single person who comes in knows exactly what's expected of them from day one and what they need to do to move on to the next level, and then the next level after that, and then the next level after that. So every single student, there's zero ambiguity about what the path is and what the journey is. And because we created such clarity in the form of the curriculums, right? We have Gracie Combatives, we have the Master Cycle right here. So Kevin's working on his Gracie Combatives belt, Lance is working on his brown belt first stripe right here. These are the minimum requirements. Zachary's working on his white yellow belt in Gracie Bullyproof. And Maggie right here working on her pink belt in Women Empowered. So every student, and then these are published along with the calendar for the specific programs. So you got the calendar, so they know what classes every single day of the month. They know what they're going to be learning. So total structure from day one. Because the question is, how can you expect someone to be loyal to a process of learning jiu-jitsu if there's no clarity on the path of what they're supposed to be doing? So jiu-jitsu is very confusing. And think about going to a university, Chicago, LA, you name it. Go to university and they say, hey, Idriz, you want to get a degree in business? Cool. Start doing a bunch of classes. Just pick randomly. Just learn a bunch. Just, tough it out, bro. Just learn. One day, we'll let you know when you're ready. And you say, well, what do you mean one day? What do I have to do? And they go, no. It's not like that. It's just, you just do it until we tell you you're ready. And you're completely in the dark on your own path. And that's 99% of BJJ is run like that. So when I say we foster the environment that allows students to have self-loyalty, it just means that they can take control of their own progress. And as a result, they excitedly stay on the journey because they know exactly what they need to do to move on to the next level in terms of the skills they have to learn, the classes they have to compete, like any diligent educational institution of higher learning, any university. This is the way it is. And this extends beyond, you guys. the online access to the curriculum. Every single student has access to the corresponding curriculum. Women Empowered, Gracie Bulletproof, Gracie Combatives. The corresponding online curriculum is part of your membership. So you can log on whenever you want and watch the material. And I didn't tell you this, but I was waiting till today to let you know. The app that we now have allows any student who's part of Gracie Combatives, let's just say, hours before your class, it pings you and it says, notification, Idriz, today is class number 6, Gracie Combatives. Would you like to preview the class? A 60-second preview.
Wow, that's a game changer.
Bro, you wake up for breakfast and you get a ping and say, hey, today's class number 6, and you click and it opens up a 60-second Hedon and Henner. Here's what we're gonna learn today, you guys. This technique, blah, 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 blah. And we do a fast, rapid preview. Bro, the students see this and they're like, yes, because now they weren't gonna go to class that day. But now they're like, I can't miss that class because they just hyped it and I gotta go check that out. It allows the student to immerse themselves and commit to this learning process in a way that has never been possible before. And this, again, Jiu-Jitsu is very confusing, let's be honest. We survived the hard age of Jiu-Jitsu where you learn...
Kill or be killed.
Kill or be killed. Not only was the toughness an aspect, but the lack of structure. Meaning just kind of come to class and what are we going to see tomorrow? I don't know. What do you want to learn today? I don't know. The teacher walks in and says, hey guys, what do you want to do today? Bro, how common is that?
Very common.
And then you have 34 students and one says, sweeps from the guard. And everyone else goes, no. And the teacher goes, okay, let's do some sweeps. It's complete random because nobody knows what they're showing up for, including the head instructor.
Well, yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
It's often the case in BJJ schools where it's just made up as you go.
I agree with you.
So because there's no structure, the student's so discouraged, that's why the drop-off rate in Jiu-Jitsu is as high as its effectiveness. Jiu-Jitsu is the most attractive and best martial art on the planet from a self-defense perspective. Hands down. If you want to argue that, go to Chicago, come to LA, we'll talk about it. But the point is that it's so attractive as a self-defense system, but it's so unattractive as a process. It's so painful, so uncomfortable, so confusing. Now, some people say only the strong survive. No, it's not for everybody. You're wrong. Jiu-Jitsu is for everyone. You're just have your own definition, which is yours, not Jiu-Jitsu's. So be careful how you tout that only the strong survive. If you can't hang, you don't deserve Jiu-Jitsu. That's wrong. Jiu-Jitsu is for the weak, to empower the weak against the strong. So you're factually incorrect when you say Jiu-Jitsu is not for everyone. So that being said, it ultimately boils down to all the instruments, all the tools, all the things that we've put into place to allow a student to be excited and to own their own journey. And this is why we win. This is why Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Chicago is going to win. This is why Gracie University Torrance wins and hundreds of schools around the world, because we don't expect loyalty to the professor. We foster loyalty to thyself because you can own your journey in an otherwise disastrously confusing and discouraging martial art. Now, just as much as there is structure and benefits for the individual student, there's also benefit for the business. Because when you have a school where only you are the master instructor and you're not there, the other teachers are teaching a different way. Am I right? It's not the same, bro.
I want them to be a copy-paste of here.
There you
your
go.
Energy.
You want the same energy that the head instructor has, but that's hard to replicate because if you tell your other teachers, be better, but you don't give them guidance on what does it mean, exactly what do you want them to do. So your school can only be as structured as the curriculum is structured. Your teachers can only be as guided as there is something to lead them. There's no guidance, there's no curriculum, there's no teaching methodology, there's no slice presentation formula. So how they teach, all of that has to be outlined, and that's what we've spent 16 years doing here and at schools all over the world. So people look at this and go, yeah, if you want to scale and grow a bigger school, you need your other instructors to speak the same language. And that's what doesn't exist in BJJ. Look at any business or situation globally, any successful business, and the scalability of that business is all based on quality control and consistency at scale. And you can't grow your own school past 100, 200 students, right? It's going to be very tough to grow a school past those numbers without scalable systems where you can bring in other instructors who maintain the quality standard. And that's what Gracie University assists with. Idriz is becoming a certified instructor. His other instructors are on the path to become certified instructors. So all of them speak the same language. It's called the vacation test. If you don't have the structures in place and the students are loyal to the professor, the main guy, right? If they're loyal to one master instructor.
But what if I get sick?
Bro, or I like vacations better. Or you go to vacation, you're gone, right? You go to Nicaragua for 2 weeks to go surf. So if the instructor leaves for 2 weeks and they're loyal to you, then what happens when you're gone? Their loyalty goes down, their satisfaction goes down, they complain that the instructor wasn't there. All these problems happen when the loyalty is to the professor. Okay, this is very important. So if the loyalty is to the professor, problem. However, if the systems are in place, all the teachers teach the exact same class number 7, regardless of who it is and what day it is. Class number 7 is the same class regardless of who's teaching it. When that level of structure is in place and the students are loyal to themselves and the processes that are so effectively implemented at that school, guess what? When you go on vacation for 2 weeks, nothing changes. Nobody complains.
Beautiful.
Bro! That's so crazy. So here's what's wild is last week, I just got back. I'm a little dark right now, right? You notice it? You notice? Be honest. I was in Mexico last week for a week with Eve and her family, Cancun. We had the best time. And I'm here for this week right now. And then on Sunday, I'm leaving to Costa Rica for 2 weeks. I don't travel that much, but this just happened to be back-to-back vacations right now. Guess who complained? No one. Guess what problems arise as a result of my departure? None. This is what we want. This is what a good, dedicated instructor of jiu-jitsu deserves. They deserve to have a structure. They deserve to have that freedom. And it pains me to see how many black belts, especially who've been at the game for 14 years, I've had a school. How many students? 79, 112, 117 students. And they've been at this for so long. And I'm like, dude, think about the thousands of students that came and went during those years, over that time, that didn't stick. Only 112 stayed. But then thousands that came, hundreds potentially that came and left over 17 years. Something's missing in that equation, bro.
Systems.
Bro. Systems that retain, and they retain because they reverse the loyalty of the student onto themselves. What we're after is self-loyalty in our students, not professor loyalty. You are the master. Everything you do, I follow. I'm only here because of you. No, you're here because of you, and these systems will make it possible for you to be successful in your goals of jiu-jitsu. The systems are there for you. Now, there's this interesting concept in martial arts, and it's not just jiu-jitsu. This sellout disease. This disease that if you are successful and you make money in martial arts, that you're a sellout.
Yeah.
Bro, this is a disease. It's massive in jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu for sure, and also other arts. Just in martial arts in general, but compare that to other industries. You're a musician, you make money. You're a sellout. No, if you're a musician, you make money, you're successful. If you're a doctor and you make money, you're successful. So interesting. Why is that only martial arts? You're a sellout if you make money.
Makes no sense.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I cured myself of this disease a long time ago when I realized one thing, that the money is just the measuring stick.
It's a tool.
For the service, right? So if you had a meter, that like the money meter, there's a direct correlation to the service meter. That's a fact, right? You don't make a lot of money in jiu-jitsu unless you're servicing a lot of people. And here, Gracie University headquarters, right, one of 200 plus schools, we're closing in on 2,000 students in this single building.
And you know what I love about what he just said? The more success he has, the more jobs he creates.
It's true. That's true.
You know what the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire?
Tell me.
A billionaire creates jobs. Hender's not chasing the money. He loves this art. He loves it. He loves it to the point where he wants everyone to see the same passion he has. And I love it. I want to feed off this guy.
Bro, the tens of thousands of students who are training at certified training centers globally, who would not have otherwise touched jiu-jitsu because other schools don't know how to foster that self-loyalty, and they don't know how to take care of the small, the weak, you know what I'm saying? The general underdogs of society are not cared for in most BJJ schools. It's crazy. So that's where my energy comes from. It's like, yo, it's freaking nuts. The hundreds of schools that we have that are making jiu-jitsu accessible, and now to know that we're going to have that in Chicago, a place where there is a lot of BJJ, but there isn't a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu certified training center, and now we will have one.
My family's one of the first schools to teach jiu-jitsu in Chicago.
There you go.
So
and a lot have come and gone since then. And the fact that we now are going to have that, that's crazy. So we're closing in on 2,000 students in one building here. How do you think that makes me feel about community service in Torrance? The kids, the moms, bro, we have a self-defense seminar on a Sunday morning. 300 women show up. Have you ever seen this in BJJ ever? No, nobody does this, right? Bully-proofed. Kids coming in, regular kids class, 60, 70 kids on the mat for a Wednesday night bully-proof kids class. This doesn't happen when you don't have the systems in place that can sustain that level of scalability and growth. And this is what we figured out. much to the benefit of the students, because now they drive from very far. People will drive past 10 other schools to train at Gracie University because of the systems, the structures, the safety, the amazing instructors who all speak the same language, and the fact that when they come here, they know what they're gonna get because they got a preview that morning, 3 hours before the class. We told them what they're gonna get versus, all right, my friends, what do you guys wanna do today? Holy cow, you guys. We have to evolve. So here's the problem. We're closing in on 2,000. We have CTCs that are closing in on 1,000 students, bro. Not Gracie operated. There's no Gracie in the building except Gracie systems. There's no Gracie human being in the building. Different last names are closing in on 1,000 students. It's not surprising to me because they're just doing exactly what we asked. But it's shocking to them. They're like, this is crazy. And similarly, people who've been with other affiliations of Jiu-Jitsu and had just modest success, like just enough to pay the bills and just kind of month to month, go. These guys, when they've switched and they've seen the success of the systems, they're gone. Other purple belts, blue belts, brown belts with schools that are 300, 400, 500 plus as a purple belt.
It's insane.
Bro, so we have the systems to sustain and to allow that type of scalable growth in a school, even if it's not a black belt running the school. However, there is something about the black belts that makes it harder for them to make this transition that you're now in the process of. But other black belts, and that's why I wanted these to be part of this talk. There's a lot of black belts out there you're watching right now, and I'm talking to you guys right now, who are very much on the fence. They've seen us over the last decade or more. They're like, at first they hated on us. They're in the hater chat rooms, and then they evolve. They're like, all right, they're doing some good work here. 32 principles. I like what they're doing. They're kind of watching, but then one thing that's undeniable is the schools are just massively successful, right? We're just successful at teaching people how to run their businesses. So they've been watching, but they're scared about change, right? These black belts, they know it's probably better for their health, and we have a great personal relationship, which is why we've been talking a long time, and you're doing this. But if we didn't know each other and wouldn't talk regularly, you might still be like, nah. So the question is, why do black belts sit on their hands and not make change? Even if the systems are proven, why are they waiting, bro? Be as honest as you possibly can.
To be honest, I think it's ego. It's letting go of you being the man, you know? In my school, I have a thing that says, be humble and seek knowledge. Look, I know Jiu-Jitsu, but I got to seek knowledge to become a better business guy. And Rener has those tools, Rener. You provide that.
And it's not perfect, you guys. The crazy part is Rener has some answers, but I know there are things that I'm continuously improving on. But my advantage is I now have the leverage of 200 plus schools and the best ideas from all of those ones that I can funnel back to you. You feel me? So it's the collective, it's the value and the benefit of a group versus an individual trying to shoot in the dark and figure it out on their own. When we all come together, we have instructor development conferences and all the best ideas are shared. That's what you're tapping into. That's what you're plugging into to ensure a much higher level of success if you would have done all that learning by yourself. That's the key. That's why we're aiming for this. Now, here's what's crazy. The black belts, I know it's a sensitive issue. I think it's because if you've been doing something for 17 years, even with moderate success or minimal success, the thought that there's a different way that could lead to much greater success is probably pretty discouraging for you. Like, man, I've been wasting my time. So that's one debilitating feeling. The other one is this thought of like, man, I am my own brand. I'm the man. I do things my way. And if I go become a Gracie University certified training center, I have to change some things about how I do. So some people just don't have the humility to change anything. It's just a massive pride problem. It's just your pride is your own worst enemy right here. Because the question is, if you could double or triple or quadruple your student enrollment, would it be worth it? The question is, what wouldn't you do at that point? You see what I'm saying? Like,
why wouldn't you do
in terms of service to the community, and then of course the financial reward of doubling or tripling or quadrupling your school, most people would say, yeah, if I could do that, then I would. So here's the problem. We can't guarantee that though. Do you feel what I'm saying? It's like, that's the problem is no one can guarantee exact numbers. So I put a lot of thought into this. And for all the black belts out there who are on the fence, I have to get you off the fence. So I'm going to propose something right now that I haven't even told Idriz about, but it starts with you. And I've never said this publicly, and I've never shared this, but I'm going to do this. Here, listen very carefully. And it starts with Idriz. Any Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, doesn't matter what your affiliation is, what school you came from, who you got your black belt, if you currently have a school, or you're about to open a school, or you want to open a school, this is your aspiration, is to do and be Jiu-Jitsu. Black belt guarantee. Become a certified training center. Go through the processes that we prescribe. Learn the material, learning Gracie combatives, the basic curriculum. It's not crazy, right? It's not rocket science, but you have to do some learning so that you can speak the same language that we do at all of our certified training centers, particularly for the beginner programs. Advanced Jiu-Jitsu, all the black belts can throw in their own knowledge, but it's really the beginner structures that are the ones that we're very particular about. Learn the curriculum, right? Go through this process. Become a certified training center. Go through the process, reserve your territory. I'll tell you more about that. Do everything that we prescribe. Run the systems fully, committedly, and perfectly for 2 years. From the day you open, give it 2 years of full commitment to what I'm proposing. At the end of the 2-year period for your certified Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Training Center, if it wasn't the best thing you've ever done for your jiu-jitsu business, and it didn't exceed all your expectations utilizing our systems, you let me know, and we cut you a check for everything you paid, affiliation dues, certification fees, and everything in between.
Wow.
For that entire period. It starts with you.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Yes.
That's crazy.
He didn't even know about this, you guys. But I'm going to do that for you because it's very important to me that you don't have any, you don't hold back your commitment to the processes. Do you understand? I need you to go full, and I want you to go 100%. And if after 2 years, right, there'll be a learning curve. There's things to do. We got to change. But guess what? If you want results that you've never had, you have to do things you've never done. And 2 years, the same way a t-shirt gives you, a 1 week free trial, a quick flip hoodie that turns into a backpack, you got a 30-day free trial. If you're not happy with that quick flip after 30 days, send it back. I'm sending you your money back, right? And I'll pay for the return shipping. With the Certified Training Center, it's going to take some time, a lot of learning, but you're going to become an amazing business leader with systems that will completely change your students and their involvement, their self-loyalty, their connection to jiu-jitsu, their growth, their enthusiasm. All of that's going to change with these processes. And at the end of 2 years, if you go, Rener, this is not the best thing I've ever done for my school. Cancel it, stop running all of our systems, obviously, and all the money comes back that you spent. So it was no waste. It was just a real attempt. So I'm willing to shoulder the risk of you trying something new. This is called the Black Belt Guarantee. In order for, he already qualifies for it, he's deep in this mix right here, he's good to go. In order for you to qualify, you must reserve your territory that you're in. Lock up your territory within the next 60 days. This is kind of like, I'm trying this out, this is kind of a crazy idea. Yeah. So we're gonna put a 60-day time limit on people who jump in the family within the next 60 days. What does that mean? You're gonna go to gracieuniversity.com/TRP. Terry, Ralph, Paul, TRP, Territory Reservation Program. You're going to go to that website, you're going to look at the map, you're going to see if there's any CTCs near you. If there aren't any, right, you can reserve your territory, and it's free to submit the inquiry to see if the territory is available. So submit the free inquiry if it's available. Then we're going to allow you the opportunity to lock up that territory for 12 months, which is what he's on right now. He's on the territory lock. And that 12 months gives you time to learn the beginner programs that you want to understand to overhaul completely your systems at your school. So you learn the material. Once you learn the material, you come to the instructor certification program. You get certified. This is all explained very thoroughly on the website. You get certified in the teaching methodologies, and you open your certified training center. Boom. We now have a CTC, and you're the one running it. 2 years, go, 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 go. Follow, do everything perfect as we prescribed, and at the end of 2 years, we talk. If it's not the best thing you've ever done for your business, then you get your money back. If it is the best thing you've ever done for your business, you won't want your money back because you won't want to stop running the systems, and that's my responsibility, he don't as well, Gracie University, to make sure that we provide the best support, the best systems, the marketing, getting people to your school, making sure people are aware that you run our programs. Because we get millions of views on social media, we want to funnel them to these CTCs where they can learn the systems from certified instructors who we've personally certified because they trust us from what we put on social media, and they want to learn in a way that they know is structured, safe, and street applicable, right? This matters to people. But we can't send them to you unless you're a certified training center and listed on our website and have gone through the steps to formalize your education and the systems at your school. So I just thought of this morning, and this might be a bad idea. I don't know. But we're putting it out there right now for the world to know. The Black Belt Guarantee is live from right now for the next 60 days. If you submit your territory inquiry and you reserve a territory within the 60-day period, and by the way, once you submit your inquiry to learn kind of what we're doing, like basic, you'll see all the information there at that website. once you submit your inquiry, if your territory is available, if we confirm that there is no other person that locked up that territory, because we only allow one school per territory, 5-mile radius, 10-mile diameter. There's some adjustment there sometimes, but that's pretty much their territory. Once we verify that your territory is in fact available, we're going to give you access to information, like all the pricing, the certification fees, the instructor certification, the monthly affiliation dues, all of that's explained very thoroughly on the website once we verify your territory is available. So start there, then get all the information, and then on we go, you guys. If you lock up that territory for 12 months, you're learning all the material, then it's just good to go. What do you think?
I love it. Hey, look, his grandfather Helio gave us this art, right? Now he's giving us a tool to be able to bring it to the masses.
There you go. And listen, you guys, this whole idea, this disease, right? This sellout disease. Anybody who's told you that if you make money in jiu-jitsu or in martial arts, you're a sellout, listen, they're just mad they're not making money. The people who are saying that are not the ones making money. And the people who are saying that are not the ones servicing the community in the biggest way. They're the ones who've been 17 years at jiu-jitsu. They have 117 students, and they're just kind of angry that they can't grow. They don't understand why people leave as fast as they show up.
Ego.
And all they have is that little core of meathead, tough students, and they're just kind of always floating at the same place. You don't understand, you guys. There's much different ways to go about this, and now the risk of trying those different ways is eliminated. I'll take the risk. I'll take the risk. I don't know if this is a bad idea or the best idea ever, but it's an idea, and we're going to see how it goes. And for all of you who are not black belts, like, what if I'm a purple belt? I'm going to open a school. Do I get the same guarantee? No. Because the black belt has the ego, the pride, the personal brand. I'm a black belt. I'm the man. All of that. I'm the woman. I'm the man. All of that pride, it really sticks in hard at black belt, and it becomes a massive barrier for entry to something new like this. If you're a blue belt or a purple belt, you're coming in not because of a 2-year guarantee. You're coming in because there is no other system that you can plug into a school, curriculum system, structure, safety, all the applications that we have, all the programs. There's no other system that is as proven for lower ranks, blue to brown belt. There's no system that is as proven to grow a school successfully and massively impact the community as our systems. So you're going to choose our systems because they're the only successful option that's out there. Now, the black belt, there's a lot of options, and there's a lot of, I don't need anyone. I'm going to do it by myself. And I'm here to tell you that you can do it by yourself. He could also, always will be successful, always will have a school, always will do his thing. Idriz just recognized that the systems that allow every instructor to be speaking the same language and for students to really commit to that self-loyalty, those aren't in place right now. And we're going to make sure they are by the time we're done. So I can't wait to get you through ICP, the whole process. Any final words for our friends who are on the fence?
Man, one thing they say on Shark Tank, I like to watch the Shark Tank episodes, and they say, what would you rather have, 100% of an apple or 80% of a watermelon? You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
So,
give me the watermelon, dude.
Give me the watermelon. Leave the ego at the door. Leave it to the side.
We have a doormat.
Yeah.
Leave the ego at the door. It's the doormat.
Be humble. Be humble. Seek knowledge.
Listen.
And be around people like that are better than you, that achieve stuff. And sometimes people don't want to admit that there's other people that are better than you at something.
Bro, that's like karate, taekwondo, kung fu didn't want to admit that about jiu-jitsu for the whole 1970s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. So the same way there is jiu-jitsu to win a fight, energy efficiency, leverage, patience, control, there is jiu-jitsu to running a business. There are techniques and methods that you don't know that you can learn to be more effective in the fight of running a successful business. And that's what we look to share with you once you become a certified training center. GracieUniversity.com/TRP. Go there, read everything, watch the videos. You guys, this is worth it, because if this changes your school in the way that we hope and think it can, no matter what, it's worth it. But you have to change something in order to change everything. Black belts, you have 60 days from today to take me up on this offer. Anyone who reserves a territory within 60 days, you guys are in. If it's after 60 days, I don't know what I'm going to do with you guys. I don't know if this offer is going to be, I haven't even told other people here. So my general manager, he don't, like, these people are going to probably be like, yo, turn that off, dude, that's crazy. I don't know what's going to happen. But when I exit this office and start telling people, all I know is I already let the cat out the bag. So you guys do your thing. Thank you, bro. Safe travels back to Chicago. And you guys, if you're in Chicago, go check him out. Supreme Jiu-Jitsu, soon to be Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Chicago. He's got it. He knows what's up. Thanks, guys.